Hi, welcome to Market Alert for Monday the 4th of December 2017. So starting off with the pound from Friday, we can see this pulling back after we've been moving higher recently. A lot of to in and fro in here, you can see from the test bars, eventually the selling taking over. Then we see the market support here with some testing, a retest of these lows here, but fails to close above the 20 bar average apart from this bar, and then we get a sell signal when the market moves lower. We get the selling and then we get the testing. So having pulled back thus far, the market is then free to move back to the upside, and then you'll see the buying coming in here and then selling pressure to stop the market just there, which brings it back down to here on the overnight market. So fairly sideways, fairly quiet as well. That said, in the daily chart you can see that we've got some selling here for Friday, and definitely selling as well because the bar following the buying is greater in volume. We've also got the 76% area as well, where there is resistance, market back through there as well, and also you can see that it's come off the highs on the overnight as well. News for today, what have we got? Unemployment change, construction PMI, Eurogroup meetings, probably to do with Brexit, and factory orders at 3 p.m. So that's all. We've got no central bankers. They're all busy talking to each other on the phone, terrified of what Bitcoin is doing and how they're losing control, but more on that in just a moment. So moving on to the Dow for Friday, as expected, we had some weakness initially, and then there was the problems with Flynn and all the rest of it, and I don't know, whatever else was going on, politically driven down. Anyway, we had a bit of a run to the upside, and then this news broke, and I say it doesn't really matter what it is now. It was to do with Flynn, this investigation, and the continuing Russian conspiracy with Trump. They then got the tax bill through. We see the buying come back into the market, and as I keep saying, they want the market higher. They're going to do whatever they can to get it higher. As it says on one of the Zero Hedge headlines, that market goes full Bitcoin, which I think is quite humorous, to be honest. And the market's gapped up on the open, on the overnight there, and you can see the market's put in another new all-time high, which looks like this. So we've got the market moving to the upside. This is allowed to continue to move higher, whereas Bitcoin is not. It's absolutely fascinating how this lot's unfolding. It really is. Again, getting sidetracked here, you can see massive volume for Friday's bar. There is some indecision, and the way to get around that is what you do is you leap over it, and then you're free to go again, and this is going to be the way going forward. And implied volatility, let's have a quick look at this. There's a very interesting pattern here as well. So we've got a very interesting pattern. The implied volatility is going up with the stock market. This shouldn't be the case. This means there is some nervousness around in the option selling department, as the market's gone from 1079 to 1149, 996 from 839, as the underlying market continues to move to the upside. It's not shown at the top of the chart here. Let me just move this, just move it up a bit. Now you've got the dates in there, and you can see you've got the market moving higher along with the implied volatility, and that shouldn't be the case. So this is should be amber warning that something's not right. As I say, Santa rally, want the market up and suck the people in, and this way, as far as I can see here, and I'm fully convinced on this, that the option traders are starting to sense this is not right by any means. And also, let me just see if I can find this article. Yeah, as it says here, this is the concern really is that the Republicans prepare for war I was busy doing some odd jobs yesterday. Radio 1 and some general or whatever came out with the usual rhetoric, very similar to 2003 with Tony Blair and his other cohorts with regards to he's nearly there, he's got a bomb, and if we don't do anything about it, then they're going to send it over. All of that sort of nonsense again, you know, terrify the people. But don't worry, we're going to find a solution, because we're the world's police force, so we'll go in and make sure that Rocket Man, as he's called by Trump, is removed. So let's wait and see. But you'll start to hear this rhetoric now going into the new year. They're not going to blow him up before Christmas. Well, I wouldn't have thought they were stupid enough to do that. And also the US have told citizens to leave South Korea as well. So it looks like there's going to be something on the cards come the new year. They don't want, as I always say, they don't want indigestion from their turkey dinner on Christmas Day, and that'll be the same for the markets as well. So keep it pumping, get the bonuses, make it look great before we go into 2018, which I keep saying and I will keep repeating it, is going to be a very, very interesting year. 2017 rather dull, one-way bet with the markets. Fiddle the VIX, pressurize the VIX, push it to the downside, keep the stock market up. Right, moving on to Bitcoin. Let's just see what it's done over the weekend, and we'll do that actually by using this piece of software, because it gives a truer picture. This is from TradingView. This is charting software which is free of charge, because the Bitcoin trades on the overnight, 7 days a week, because it's decentralized. Then you get a truer picture of the price action. This is a daily chart here, so you can see that yesterday the market was trading and put in a new all-time high yesterday. Came off the highs as well. One thing I need to mention as well, just before we move on with regards to Bitcoin, there was an announcement on Friday. So here we go, folks. We've got the CME to launch Bitcoin futures in 3 weeks after green light from regulator. It's amazing how quickly they've done this, isn't it? Got the go-ahead to get the futures contract out as Bitcoin is making news around the globe. When nobody was interested, now all of a sudden it's the area where the most money is being made. It's also the sixth largest turnover now in currency as well. Not money, in currency, different thing. And of course this is putting the wind up the regulators, the governments and everybody else. So it's amazing how quickly they got this pushed through and signed off. So this is coming on board on December the 18th. I can't wait. Bring it on. It's going to be fantastic. And I don't think it's going to turn out the way they want it to. No doubt they'll try and rig it like they've done with the silver markets and the gold markets, where they sell billions of dollars every morning into the markets to suppress the price. I mean, silver and gold should be doing exactly what Bitcoin is doing. It should be as volatile as that, given the debt that has been printed, and yet it is suppressed. Deutsche Bank being fined before, we know all about that. It's been in the market alert before, and now they are terrified of Bitcoin. And this is how the weekend unfolded. We saw Bitcoin hit its all-time high after burst of Asian buying. Market cap nears 200 billion. This was then you go from that to Bitcoin just crashed over 1,000. Well, in Bitcoin volatility land, this is not really a big deal. And then it just gets worse overnight. We've got reasons for Bitcoin sudden plunge revealed. UK plans regulatory crackdown on cryptocurrencies. And guess what they're using in order to validate this? The usual money laundering and funding terrorism. Oh, you mean like governments fund terrorism? But, you know, if you see, you know, absolute nonsense as ever. And again, this is the latest one. Crypto surge sparks establishment panic, bans crackdowns and fatwas as Bitcoin undermines governments, destabilizes economies. Really? I haven't seen any destabilizing with any economy yet, thanks to Bitcoin. What's brilliant about it, I was in the other camp. I didn't think it would make any difference, couldn't really see its purpose. But as I keep saying, the blockchain is the crucial bit. The decentralization I absolutely love, because central banks have absolutely killed the financial system. They've made the 1% of the world's richest people richer, in particular during the last few years, and they've burdened generations with the debt that they keep printing to save the banks. And this is why they're terrified, because they are going to lose control. Now, how this pans out and what they try to do, who knows? It's a very good article. It goes on to discuss all of the what they're trying to bring in and what they want to do. I mean, there you can see that's the chart I was talking about. You value of currency in circulation. You've got Bitcoin as the sixth one there, as in circulation volume. Let's have a look. But this week has seen a new group of establishmentarians jump on the offensive, anti-decentralization, decontrol, and pro-freedom cryptocurrencies, urging bans, crackdowns, fatwas, taxation, and creating their own cryptocurrencies, demanding citizens sell and outright confiscation. And if you go through this, you can see that India's finance minister Arun Jaitley has clarified that the government does not recognize Bitcoin as legal tender. They will. They'll have no choice. They'll have to find another way, because there's talk of Amazon taking Bitcoin payments, unless of course they're pressed not to. Turkey has claimed Bitcoin is in fact not compatible with Islam due to its government being unable to control it. I'm not going to say any more on that one. Not in the UK, not as you can't say anything anymore. South Korea, Kim Dong-yeon, South Korea's Deputy Prime Minister and the Ministry of Strategy and Finance revealed earlier this week. I mean, it's funny, isn't it, how all of a sudden they've only come out on Sunday night, earlier this week. So that was Monday last week. And now we're getting a collection here of all of these countries who have got the ump about it. You know, it's amazing. Better regulate and local Bitcoin, and this is the piece de resistance to me. This beats the Islam one. This does. Holland, a Dutch newspaper. So we don't even know if it's true anyway. Frankly, a lot of fake news out there in the world of journalism. A Dutch newspaper urges its citizens to sell their bitcoins patriotically because cryptocurrencies can undermine government and destabilize the economy. Definitely undermine the government, but it will not destabilize the economy. A Bitcoin world can destabilize the real economy. A euro is also a solidified trust. This is brilliant. This is amazing, isn't it? The Eurozone is 9 trillion in debt, printing 60 billion a month. The Italian banks are barely hanging on by the skin of the teeth. And the euro is a solidified trust. Wow. Incredible. Fiat currency. Print as much debt as you want and pass it on to generations. First, the Bitcoin undermines the government because a lot of transactions about money laundering and tax avoidance. Well, what a surprise. Another problem is that the profits of the new Bitcoins that come with it do not benefit the government. Too right, that's the whole purpose. As with normal money creation, you mean debt-based creation, but are absorbed in heavily environmentally harmful computer power. Oh dear, not that old chestnut as well. Global warming. And again, central banks also have less influence on keeping the economy stable. They don't keep the economy stable, they create boom and bust. And if it hadn't have been for the central bankers bailing out the banks in 2008 and taking the global debt from 65 trillion to 265 trillion in the last 10 years, then we wouldn't be on the verge of a catastrophe, financial catastrophe. And that's why Bitcoin was created in the first place. So you can see it goes on and on, but it's the usual thing, you know, funding terrorists and tax avoidance, evasion and all the rest of it. Unlike the Panama Papers and all of the celebrities having their own tax hiding holes, shall we say. Amazing. If it's anything to do with the serfs, that you could actually take control away from the government, then they're going to try and do whatever they can. Let's see how they get on with this. It's certainly going to be fascinating going forward. So this is the last 48 hours in crypto world, and in particularly in Bitcoin, and how now the governments are starting to look at it. And they're onto a hide into nothing unless they completely ban it. But can they completely ban it? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But what I do know, it's interesting times. If they can't ban it and we get a financial collapse, guess what's going to be blamed now? It's not going to be the banks. It will be Bitcoin. It will be cryptocurrencies, because they've undermined the economy and it's destabilized it. So we you know, you can hear the rhetoric now, can't you, from Yellen and co and Draghi, Super Mario himself, saying that we actually had the whole thing sorted. We got it sorted. We had stability. We had everything else, and then Bitcoin came along, pulled the rug from under our feet. And I'm sorry, but that's why you've had a financial collapse. You can see the headlines now. Global economy slow because of Bitcoin. Hang on a minute. People are actually using Bitcoin to transact in. Interesting. But it'll just be like 2008, where they blamed the toxic mortgages on the financial collapse. Just go and just look up Gordon Brown and his excuses back then. But there you go. So that's where we're at. Interesting times, to say the least. Bring on 2018. It's going to be fascinating, and I can't wait for December the 18th either, to see how they are going to crush Bitcoin using the futures market. I think you're going to find the opposite, because there is a lot of pension funds and establishments out there who are getting no return, no yield on their investments, and that's why the stock markets are being pushed. Everything's being pushed, and this is the new kid on the block that is giving incredible returns. So you're not telling me that they're going to try and crush it. They're going to actually get on board and actually drive the price. They may try and do like they did with Facebook. The first few weeks moved the price lower. No doubts about that, but eventually the pressure will be too much and they'll end up driving it in the opposite direction. And as it said earlier in one of the other articles as well, that the government's going to develop its own cryptocurrencies, and God help us all, because that will be a classic case of 1984. It will have arrived. If the government issues a cryptocurrency, there will be no hiding from absolutely anything. As far as the financial system is concerned, you will be monitored absolutely everywhere, and you'll also see the real cash and coins and notes actually disappear forever as everything becomes digital. So there we go. That's it for today. If there's anything to report, I will do, but it's onwards and upwards in the other markets as far as the Dow is concerned. But keep an eye on the volatility, because that's the opposite, doing the opposite of what it should be doing at this time. Right, that's it for me. As ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next